Good evening. Well, this is a video about the setup of a vlog or pretty much any type of video. So I'm just going to take you through a few little examples because I've had various messages over recent days. Obviously we've had a few strands and links about the lights and the light I will show you in a moment and using the tripod to have a steady shot. And I just want to show you a little bit about angles and also lighting and how it really helps or doesn't, and also how it can be quite subjective. So what I might like, you might not like. So at the moment I am in my kitchen. I've got a little bit of light behind me. Some people don't like that look because it's quite bright and stark. I have now, it sounds like a strange place to do it, but in the kitchen there's lots of light for me, so it works really well. And I have various different lights I can play around with. So just watch what happens to my skin tone when I do this. It creates lots of shadow. It brings a bit more of the background into play. It's actually making me blink a little bit. So I would choose to take that light out. So I'm going to take it out. And for me, that is less distracting. So there's a bit of a glare in the background. Some, as I say, might not like that, but I don't feel like I'm blinking. And for me, I don't want to be worrying about blinking. I just want to talk about what I'm here to talk about and do the best job I can. Now, I've also got the ring light on at the moment, so I'm going to take that off. And if you just have a look at what happens to my features, if you see now, there you go. So I look heavier around the eyes, there's not so much light on my hair, and it just all looks generally a bit darker, doesn't it? So for me, I like using that ring light. It is so small and subtle, it's not massive at all. 3 different levels, 1, hang on, off, 1, 2, and 3. So it does brighten up your face a little bit. And look, as I move forward and backwards out of the light, can you see what is happening? So there's some really basic tips. Now, if I move the camera around, so I've got a tripod here, and I'll show you that in a moment. But if I move the camera around, you can see what happens to the lights. So now you see some more of the spotlights, and as I move into those, we get a bit more glare. So it's really about setting up the shot so you think it's right. It's not too off-putting, and also just so that you feel comfortable, actually. I like to stand at a comfortable angle or sit in a place that I'm comfortable. That doesn't feel right for me. I've got a glare and it's right in my eye, so I'm turning around again. And I think that's a really important thing to do. It might sound faffy, but you need to be able to concentrate on what you're saying and get that message across and not thinking, oh, like now, that light's in my eye line. It's not good for me. So I'm going to, I can't find it now, you see. So it takes a bit of playing around with. So it's a really important tip, as I say, because you've been asking me about lighting. The tripod, I'll show you in a second. I just want to touch very briefly on makeup, and I will come back to it another day because it's quite a hot topic, and it is important. So today, just as an example, I put a little bit of pink in my lips because I've got pinky in my top. Does it need that much thought? Not always, no. Sometimes time is of the essence. You've got an urgent message to get across and you have to not worry about how you look, and I think that's important that we do that. But equally, depending on your audience, we do have to think about how we're presented and first impressions and what that means to some people. So it really depends on what sort of video you're making, why you're making it, and who your audience is. So we can touch on makeup. A few people asking me about mascara and do we need proper television makeup? No. It's just about applying it properly. So I do work with makeup artists and things like that, so it might be that we do a little bit of a tutorial if you keep asking questions, because I am definitely not an expert. I've just learned tricks along my career and started to apply them, literally apply them. And so if I can share some of those, great, but it might be helpful to get a makeup artist in. So if anyone's watching and would like to do that, and if anybody would like to be a guinea pig, let me know, and it saves me having to bear all, and it was a bit scary. So yes, that might be something we can work on. So I hope that's helped. Before I go, I'm just going to take the light off now. There we go, darkness, and show you the tripod. So I'm just going to turn this camera around. Let me see if I can do this. In fact, let me do that. There you go. You can see the tripod there now. Very small tripod with this little attachment, and I can raise and lower these legs to any height. So I can do standing shots, or I can do just put it on the counter like I am right now. This is an example of how not using a tripod works. Can you see? It's not entirely straight. I've now wedged it against the top. That's that's okay, actually. I've done many a vlog that way. This is my favourite position. But when I've held one, it's amazing how I think I've got a really steady arm, and actually I sort of end up standing at strange angles, a bit like when you take a selfie, you end up a bit like this, don't you? So I think a tripod, for the small investment it is, and literally that little one there, that extends to quite a height, was about £14. And this light, here we are, here it is, about £8. So I can give you the links if that's something you're interested in. So yes, I hope that's helpful. Just a few tips for now. There we are, the light's back on. And I will speak to you soon. All right, bye for now.